Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahwashai, Ba'asham Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who are pushing this 100% truth of the gospel, waking up and sealing the elect of the nation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahwashai. And salutations to all your sincere Akiman that are pushing this gospel in all righteousness and in all sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. Alright, so this is going to be a response to the brother from Tanzania, okay, his video that he did concerning cannibalism coming to America. Okay, so just they're watching the video and this video was really on point. The brother really went in on it, but basically everything that he said, alright, in the video, naturally, of course, is true, okay? Because when I was watching this video, I was remembering about this documentary or movie, I should say, that I watched today. I don't know if you know about it, Europa, The Last Battle. And when you watch it, may you hear about, okay, what transpired during World War One and World War Two in Europe, okay? You hear about the elite's agenda against Europe and all of that. There's a little bit of Edomite propaganda mixed in, but the point is there, okay? And just starting from the first hour of that documentary, you see just how severe famine actually is, okay? You see just how deadly it is, and you also see just how easy it is for it to happen to any nation, okay? So yeah, basically that's what I'm primarily planning on going into, and I'm just and it's lucky I can't really play that video because it gets really graphic, okay? You put and that's why it's not on YouTube, man. You can go and just search for it on YouTube and you never see it, okay? It's on BitChute, however. And if you play that movie, man, it's extremely graphic. And if I played, I doubt YouTube will let that video last for a second before trying to take it down. Alright, even just showing this is a giant risk. But anyway, they must still be shown for the sake of edification, okay? Because what you have, especially with this situation right now, because it's all part of scripture, okay? As scripture says, let me see if I can get that. Okay, I'm already in Matthew 24, the 24th chapter. Here it is, Matthew 24 verse 7, and it reads, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places," okay? But the operating word being the famine, and we already know what the famine is, basically a lack of food, man. And this, and that is basically what we are going into. There will be famine, okay? Believe it or not, there will be famine. Because what do we talk about in this truth? Talk about how, first and foremost, if you think about it, there's going to be a famine coming to Babylon one way or the other, okay? Because if all these nations out here, as the scripture says, they shall hate the whore and burn her with fire, okay? So if all these nations out here start to be against Babylon the Great, do you think that they will be able to send you any of the resources or the imports that people in Babylon normally collect, okay? They will not provide any support during any instance of civil war or martial law being declared, okay? And now that as it is in Babylon, man, the farms aren't producing at the extent that they were before, okay? You have less. You don't have as much. You don't have as much production going on in the whole country because what was that word that they use? Outsourced. Yeah, that's the word. Outsourced all the production. They're using artificial, genetically modified foods, okay? That cannot supply nutrients to any to the body, okay? And various other reasons, especially the main operating reason being the elites are done with Babylon and they are done with that place, okay? And that's the exact same thing that happened in Europe during that time. Soviet Russia, okay, Germany, Germany, all these other Poland, various other European nations that had hyperinflation, because what happened was it was these elites that influenced it, okay? The international bankers. That's why they have control over the money right now. That's why they're so they were so hell bent on having control over every single nation's reserves, because they could easily destroy or destabilize that nation just by influencing the cash flow. Alright, hyperinflation, when and all these things, they will hit at the same time. Okay, it's not like they're going to be in a separate situation. You're going to have hyperinflation, you're going to have civil war, and then you're going to have this famine, man, and they are still going to have restrictions. Okay, so you can't so even if you know, all right, or even if there is a location where food is, you might not even be able to go there to get it. Okay, so you'll be stuck in wherever zone that you are, just being hungry, man. And you know what, I'm probably going to play a video a little bit later, but let me just finish up what I'm talking about. Okay, because I don't have much precepts to go into, because Jake doesn't realize just how bad it can get in farming. And they also think that farming can never happen because it's something that happened in the past. Whenever they talk about farming, they always think about, oh, it's just from the Bible, in the scriptures. It can't actually happen in this time. But if farming has already happened, and it's happening as recent as just now. Okay, because we always talk about Venezuela because it's the most recent one. We always talk about what is going on in Palestine, in the Middle East, because it's the most recent one. And many third world nations that some parts of it have farming going on in them right now. But it has also happened to first world countries. Okay, to nations in Europe. Okay, these things have already happened before, and they can easily happen again. If you watch that documentary I just showed you, Europa, you will see just how easy, alright, it is for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to bring whatever peril he wants to you people, man. It's barely it's barely even that difficult. Even the elites have that power to do that. Okay, and it's going to be extra bad in Babylon. Okay, because because you always mention how dependent you people are of Esau. Okay, from using his medication constantly, all right, to go into this devil for the want of all things. Okay, and now you have chosen, going into the book of Isaiah, you have chosen Egypt over the Most High. You have chosen Egypt over the faith of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, because you always have, especially when you talk about the things like the mark of the beast. Okay, things like the vaccine. You have people talking about how they're not going to take the chip, they're not going to take this, they're not going to take that. But when that famine hits, man, and when your body is eating up itself, and you've eaten, you're eating unspeakable things because your brother talked about cannibalism, but it wasn't just cannibalism, man. It was eating grass. Okay, eating the bark of trees, eating your own shoe, all right, eating your clothes. Okay, eating basically eating anything that even looks so much as edible. All right, even eating the ground. Eating more. You eat various different things before you finally give up and decide to start eating human flesh. Okay, that is not exactly what is going to happen. And when that happens, man, it will be so much more easier, especially for you Israelites that don't have any faith, for it to just sell you that MOB, man. You take it willingly if it means what you can have. You can finally have something to fill your belly with, except for and you can finally not go hungry, because that's just how to show you just how bad, okay, just how off terrible a judgment famine and dying of starvation is. The way you get so desperate that you basically just eat anything you see. Okay, because once again, because this is going to be the situation that will be in Babylon. And you have to bear with me, I don't really have any scriptures planned out for this, so concerning cannibalism. Okay, I think actually I do have one. I believe it was during the reign of King Hezekiah, when they were sorry, I didn't look for it. Let me get that. Now I'm going to have to look for it a little bit, because there's a piece that I want to get. So I'm still looking for it. And I can't find it. Let me try and get it on the browser. Okay, Second Kings 6. Let me bring it out. So, yeah. So this book of Second Kings 6 verse 26, and it reads, "And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, they cried a woman, saying unto him," Saka. Second Kings 6 verse 26. "And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help my lord, O king. And he said, If Yahweh do not help thee, when shall I help thee out of the barn floor or out of the winepress?" Because there was a famine, right, in the land happening during this time. To continue on, verse 28 now. "And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she said, and she had hid her son. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh." Alright, that's basically it. Going into the famine during the time of during the time of Elisha against the king of Israel, which at that time, so like I can't remember the exact king that was ruling at that time. And I believe it was still Ahab, or the king after Ahab. So I'm going to have to find that. I don't know, but anyway, let me just play a little bit of this video. I'm not going to try and play the audio. I don't know if people else will be able to hear it, but this is basically a snippet from that documentary I talked about. Speaking on the famine that happened during that time. Just so you can hear just how bad it got. And I can't really play any video. I can only play audio because of how graphic it got. Okay, so let you hear it.
It is impossible to describe the suffering and misery that presented itself on every side. I found the only food was made from weeds mixed with ground up bones, tree bark, and clay.
The famine was awful. People were eating almost everything that could be swallowed. They ate straw from the roof.
Using this straw and such substitutes of food, they became ill and they look something like fat men, but it was the beginning of their illness.
We ate all cats, dogs, horses, everything.
Shafroth cabled Haskell in Moscow that the body of a Russian assistant who recently died from typhus had been dug up and eaten. 10 butcher shops, he said, had been closed for selling human flesh. Americans read that Shafroth himself had been eaten.
The government tried to stop people eating corpses. And they led propaganda against this, and they tried to put guards in the cemeteries in order to prevent people from eating dead bodies.
Grandma told me about it. When the dark was coming, they put a huge lock to save children, because children were the main target of cannibals.
There were cases of killing children by their own mothers, by their own parents, and eating them. Some mothers did that for mercy, but some mothers killed them to feed other children. especially very small babies.
The starvation would peak in the winter and affect 16 million people. Before the corn and wheat seed arrived,
Yeah, so that's basically what I'm going to play concerning that. Okay, I know if you could see what actually this is speaking about, like I said before, Soviet Russia, during, and this is something that all these super America capitalists always talk about, how there was starvation because of communism and all that. Okay, but what they'll never tell you is that the reason why it actually happened was because basically, the elites actually, they were the one that destabilized the Soviet Union. Okay, and of course those had minor things to do with communism, but that's beside the point. Okay, this is this is something from recent history. Okay, this is how bad it can get. You think that and a lot of you and Babylonians, you think that because you are in a civilized society, then that famine can't happen again. But guess what? Okay, during the time of the scriptures, Jake also thought that they were in civilized societies as well. They thought that famine could never hit our people because we were Israelites or some, because we were Israelites and stuff like that. But you see what happened to our people when you read about the accounts of the scriptures, and you see how famine, not just famine, plagues, pestilence, even captivity, alright, fell upon our people because of their wickedness. And the same thing is coming to the earth once again, because even scriptures tell you, man, that famine is also judgment. Okay, from the famine is also judgment from the scriptures for wickedness. That is exactly what the Most High is going to bring to Babylon. Okay, all kinds of judgments, including but not limited to famine. So yeah, I'm going to end it right there. Just wanted to speak a little bit on the brother's video. Let's give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom.